Hey everyone, you're watching Northern Soul. Today we're going to be talking about Love Good Fats. This is a type of snack especially for those that are into keto, ketogenic diet. So this is actually six of these different flavors. I only got five, but I have tried the sixth flavor. So I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, whether you should get them, stuff like that, and a little bit about it. So if you're looking for keto snacks for like you want to stay in keto, but you're worried about getting hungry or something like that at work and that sort of thing, or just like a snack in the evening where you have like a sweet tooth, like you're craving chocolate or something a little bit sweet, and it's just like, what do I eat that doesn't throw me out of ketosis? This is something to look at. So I've tried different snacks, and now I'm just going to discuss this particular brand. I bought the actual boxes themselves, so they didn't send me any of this, so I actually purchased all of this. So I'm trying to give like an unbiased review on this sort of stuff. So the different flavors, we've got mint chocolate, which actually does taste like Klondike bar or peppermint patty or like After Eight, if you ever had that. We've got rich chocolatey almond, which does have a hint. There's that almond sort of background, but it's mostly, you get that chocolatey flavor, that coca that everybody likes. Chocolate chip cookie dough. That one it actually does have that taste of like cookie dough. Once again, all these are a little bit more like the chocolatey end, which is not a bad thing, but it does kind of taste what it says. Peanut butter and jam flavor. So this has got like bits of raspberry in it. It's probably like dried raspberry in that. So it does have that peanut butter. It's definitely got a peanut butter center, and then it's got the bits of raspberry in it that give you that impression that it is kind of that. Coconut chocolate chip. That's very coconutty. Actually, it tastes great. It's like one of those almond mounds or something like that. I don't know if you ever had those. Different little flecks of coconut in there. Definitely tastes coconutty. So if you like coconut flavored stuff, that's great. Definitely has the coconut in it. And there's also a peanut butter chocolate one as well. That's not here, but that's another flavor. And that kind of tastes like Reese peanut butter cups, but not as sweet. So none of these are like overly sweet, but when you're on keto and you haven't had sweet anything, unless it's like stevia or something like that, then it's enough. It kind of satisfies you. So if it's like a midnight snack or something like that, it's like, oh, I just need something or in between. This is those kind of snacks that you're looking for. So if you get a box, they come in 12 of these, or you can get these in singles like that. For me in Canada, in the Canadian dollars, they're about $2.50 each. So when I get in like a box like this, I save a bit of money. So it's like $2.25 or something like that. Obviously, it could be very different where you're purchasing, and depending on the dollar that you have at your currency in your country from wherever you're watching this. So let's talk a little bit about these bars. They're pretty small. They don't necessarily, I'll talk about some of the bad stuff and then we'll get into the good stuff. So they don't look delicious. When you open them up, and especially if they're like room temperature, if it's hot out, they start to melt because it is made out of these fats. So fat typically melts. It's not like stuff that is processed, so it doesn't melt. So those are like the fats that aren't as good for you, like different oils that's been changed chemically, so it's like solid at room temperature. This isn't them. So I usually put a box of these in the fridge, and then if I'm at home and I can enjoy that, then I eat that way. That way you get that kind of, it breaks off cleaner and you don't have like chocolate all over your hands. Most of these have that chocolate sort of covering to them, so you get it kind of gets a bit messy if it gets a bit warm. So you'd have to put this in like a little lunch pail, like one of those cooler bags or something like that, or strap one of those frozen little gel packs or something to that. That might help. Personally, I don't really care. At work, it's like room temperature in office, so for me it's not that bad, but just be aware of the whole temperature thing can be an issue with these things. And depending on where you buy it as well, if it's not like refrigerated, it might come as a hot mess to your door kind of thing, through the mail. Yeah, they don't look delicious. When you open it up, it looks a bit like a dog turd, if I'm being honest. Chocolatey dog turd. That's not a great way to start this sort of thing, but the looks aside, You break it open, and it's got this sort of dusty, it's almost like a wet sawdust sort of look. I don't know if it'll zoom in on that, but it's kind of like you break it, and it's hard to describe. The texture's not that great, if I'm being honest, for eating. And you can see they're all kind of that powdery texture that kind of just sticks together, and you'll get like bits, like this actually has bits of chocolate chip in it and stuff, so that helps. It gives it a bit of texture, but it seems like it's just like ground down really fine and then just packed in together, and then they put this like chocolate coat on it to kind of keep it together. So the texture's not great, but when you do bite into it, the taste is actually there. Like, it tastes, if not pretty good, then it actually tastes good. So like, I enjoy it. For something like where I just need a little quick sweet snack, something sweeter, and I want to stay in keto, I actually like look for this, and I will definitely like buy more of these going forward. Right now, this is my favorite keto snack, and the different flavors. And this is like, there's not too much sugar in there. There's a bit of, if we look at what's in there, where are we? Let me open this up here. Fat, like for this particular one, they're all slightly different, but in and around themselves. So this is 14 grams of fat per bar, and big surprise, 8 grams saturated. Of course, it's saturated. And then we've got, where are we? Carbohydrates, 14 grams, but 9 is fiber. So you always subtract that from the total. And there's only 2 sugar. And I think what they've done with to fill the gap up, so that would be 11. That doesn't equal up to 14. There's probably 3 grams of, I think, like stevia or something like that. Well, stevia is okay as an ingredient, and it won't throw you out of ketosis, like spike insulin levels. These are the things that I'm more concerned about if you have like a natural sugar substitute. So 9 grams of fiber, so those people that want a bit of fiber in their diet as well, helpful. And like 2 grams of sugar. The peanut butter and jellies, 1 gram, 2 grams, 2 grams. They're about 2 grams. And then you get protein, quite a bit of protein in there too, but not over the top. So it's about half. The protein is usually about half of what the fat is. So it's right perfect. The way they set it up for the keto diet, you can't get much better than that. And it's got pretty good natural ingredients. So almond butter, we've got some coconut oil in there, a good little bit of chocolate, palm kernel, palm oil, cocoa powder, just some of the nicer stuff kind of in there. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn close. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen for this type of food, and I'm okay with it because I only eat like one or 2 bars per day, and that's it. So it's not like if I was just going to make this a meal, like that's all I'm eating, it might be a problem, like for sure. But as a snack, you can't lose. And to have the backup plan, like I want to go to work not eating because I'm doing intermittent fasting, so I'm not eating all day. I go to work, but what if I get a bit hungry, or you're newer to the ketogenic diet? You want to bring a little backup plan so that you can, so you eat 2 of these and you're definitely satiated for sure. You can do the rest, you can go for hours after that, I find, no problem. But the secondary thing is that sweet tooth to stop you from doing something like cheating. You know what I mean? That's very important. It's not cheating. So at the end of the day, if texture and maybe the look of it isn't a priority, you're okay with that, then the flavoring is really good. Like I said, that the cookie dough does taste like cookie dough. This does taste like peanut butter. Like, you see where it's going with that. What it says on it is what it tastes like, and like the peanut butter and chocolate one does taste, when you first bite into it, it's 100% Reese peanut butter cup. 100%. It just, then you would chew it a little bit and you notice how it's not as sweet. That's the only difference. It's not as sweet, but very satisfying. I think price-wise, compared to other price range of other keto style bars where it's focusing on fat and moderate protein, it's not a protein bar. It's more like fat and fuel just to keep you going and that sort of thing, with low sugar, low carb. I think this is number one, and even the value of it is, from what I've seen in comparative, is way better than the other products. I haven't tried the other products because I'm like, why is that double the price or that sort of thing? And it's like, if this is good enough and I'm okay with the ingredients, so I'm doing that all day. And you've got the variety of the flavors as well. So I'll just grab like a box or 2 different flavors and I'll throw it in the fridge. So let's talk about my favorite flavors. What I would definitely like repurchase. Probably top of the list is, I do love the coconut chip, the mint chocolate chip, and probably the chocolate chip cookie dough are my favorites. Those are my picks. The peanut butter, like the Reese one, the peanut butter chocolate one, is probably in that mid tier, and I probably won't buy like this one, peanut butter and jam or rich chocolate almond. It just kind of tastes a bit bland, unless you're, because almond's more of a subtle flavor, so it's more just like chocolate, but this is chocolate with like fun, and like they all taste kind of chocolatey. It's just the peanut butter ones taste, there's 3 of them that taste less chocolatey. So if you don't want over chocolate, go with the peanut butter versions. If you're you want to go more chocolatey, then go with the almond, the mint chocolate, or the coconut chocolate. But if I could only have one, it would be either the chocolate, the coconut chocolate chip or the mint chocolate, if I'm being honest. And one of those 2, those are neck and neck for first. They're really good. If I absolutely was forced on, I'd probably take the coconut chocolate. And then I know there's like coconut in there too, which I like. So you got pretty good size. They're decent size. Like they might be smaller, but they're packed full of fat, which is just energy. So really, you only need one, and I find to satiate that craving of sugar and chocolate, you need one. At work, if you hit that sort of hunger mode, like you're doing a meal replacement, you might eat 2. So just keep that kind of in mind. I usually bring 2 or 3 in my bag when I go to work, and that has me covered, and then I'm not worried about food, or I don't want to go out and get something or whatnot. But I wouldn't keep this in your glove box if you're in a hot climate. In the winter, no problem, but or if in the fall, or if you have cooler climate, no problem. But summer, forget it. You can't have this as emergency food because it just melts. So it's not that. It's specifically, something for temperate climate or air conditioned or some sort of thermal regulated environment. Best in the fridge for sure. Hopefully you enjoyed this review and got everything you wanted to know about it. Definitely a recommend for me. As you can see, I I like it so much, I bought all the boxes, like the actual 12 packs. So this has been Northern Soul Channel, doing lots of product reviews and how to help yourself with health and all kinds of different things. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, we're going to be putting out more videos. New videos will be coming out soon. Keep subscribing, those of you that you know what it's about. And if you want to support the channel, we have a join membership thing. Please look into it. It's all voluntary, but it definitely helps the channel grow, and I'll bring more and more stuff out for you guys to enjoy. So